welcome to the topic Distance Education and Introduction. Distance education, also known as distance learning, is a process to create and provide access to learning when the source of information and the learners are separated by time, distance or both. It is the planned learning that normally occurs in a different place from teaching and as a result requires special techniques of course design, special instructional techniques and special methods of communication by electronic and other technology. The traditional model for higher education usually involves the student travelling to the same physical campus as his or her educators. With the advent of technology like the videotapes, CD-ROMs, closed circuit television and the internet, things have changed a lot. A student can now receive pertinent classroom information without even leaving home. Distant education utilizes a combination of audio-visual lectures, objective examination and planned meetings with human instructors. With good instructional design, distance education is as effective as other forms of teaching and learning generally characterized as face-to-face education or conventional education. Traditional colleges and universities have now improved distance education through some trial and error. The earliest efforts at distance education involved correspondence study. These early efforts relied on the postal service for the delivery of content and assignments. Next came audio-based distance education, which incorporated radio and audio teleconferencing and video-based distance education. Video-based distance education is still one of the major sources of training delivered from a distance. The late 1960s and early 1970s introduced computer-based distance education using technologies such as network-based computer, conferencing and tapes. Modern distance education courses now feature real-time lectures with remote communications and regularly scheduled online exercises. Distance education is imparted by three kinds of institutions: departments of correspondence courses in universities and university-level institutions. Open universities exclusively involved in imparting higher education through the distance mode. A large number of private institutions mostly offering professional courses. The form of correspondence schooling has been available for decades, but the programs have usually been limited and accreditation is often questioned. There are two systems of correspondence education, the regular system and the open system. In the regular system, the qualification requirements for enrollment are similar to those prescribed for the normal university courses. In the open system, the courses are open to any person who may not even possess any formal qualifications. How distant education is best defined or differentiated from other educational approaches has been the subject of much debate. From the perspective of many educational technologists, distance education is inexorably linked to the technology and seems to be viewed as different from other forms of education. History of distance education. Throughout the history of human communication, advances in technology have powered various shifts in the field of education. Media has played an essential role in the establishment of teacher and student communication. Communication between teacher and student is a vital element of successful distance education. The success of distance education is based on the content of the dialogue between teacher and student and the effectiveness of the communication system in an educational process. Distant education dates to at least as early as 1728, when an advertisement was published for teaching a new method of shorthand. The institution was seeking students for lessons to be sent weekly. Modern distant education traces its origin to mid-19th century Europe and United States. They relied and used the best technology of their day, the postal system, to open educational opportunities to people who wanted to learn but were not able to attend conventional schools. People who most benefited from such correspondence education included those with physical disabilities. Women who were not allowed to enroll in educational institutions open only to men, people who had jobs during normal school hours, and those who lived in remote regions where schools did not exist. Isaac Pitman, who taught shorthand in Great Britain via correspondence in the 1840s, is considered as a pioneer of this method of teaching. Students were instructed to copy short passages of the Bible and return them for grading via the new penny post system. The University of London claims to be the first to start distance learning degrees by starting an external program in 1858. This program is now known as the University of London International Programs and includes postgraduate, undergraduate, and diploma degrees created by colleges such as London School of Economics, Royal Holloway, and Goldsmiths. In 1873 in United States, Anna Ticknor created a society to encourage studies at home for the purpose of educational opportunities for the women for all classes in the society. This Boston-based, largely volunteer effort provided correspondence instruction to 10,000 members over a 24-year period despite its resolutely low profile. Printed materials sent through the mail were the main way of communication, teaching and learning. In the United States, first president of University of Chicago, William Rene Harper, developed the concept of extended education, whereby the research university had satellite colleges of education in the wider community. In 1892, he also encouraged the concept of correspondence school courses to further promote education. This was put into practice by Columbia University. The teaching of academic and vocational courses by correspondence became quite popular by 1900, and problems of quality and ethical practice came with the popularity. In 1911, University of Queensland in Australia started its Department of Correspondence Studies in 1911. The National Home Study Council was formed in 1926 in part to address these issues. Accreditation of college and university distance programs fell to the National University Extension Association in 1915. The invention of educational radio in the 1920s and the advent of television in the 1940s created important new forms of communication for use in distance education. Educators use these new technologies to broadcast educational programs to millions of learners, thus extending learning opportunities beyond the walls of conventional teaching institutions. The development of reliable long-distance telephone systems in the early 1900s also increased the capacity of distant educators to reach new student populations. In the years between the World Wars 1918 and 1946, the federal government granted radio broadcasting licenses to 202 colleges, universities, and school boards. With all the demands and popularity of instructional radio, by the year 1940, there was only one college-level credit course offered by radio, and that course failed to attract any enrollments. Still, the concept of education by radio was the major reason for development of educational television by the mid-20th century. More and more association and social support developed for distance education around the country. With the growth of popularity and needs for correspondence study, new questions such as learners' characteristics, students' needs, effectiveness of communication, and value of outcomes in comparison with face-to-face study became public interest. The interest in finding answers for these questions was the reason for many new research studies which have contributed to the growth of the knowledge base of distance education. During the 1960s and 1970s, a number of alternatives to traditional higher education developed in the United States. The major reasons were broad national trends that included rapidly escalating cost of traditional resident education, interest in formal and non-traditional education, an increasingly mobile American population, the growth of career-oriented activities, necessity of learning new competencies, public dissatisfaction with educational institutions in general, and the early success of Britain's Open University. Britain's Open University brought a new vision of independence for distant education as distinct from traditional education. Britain's Open University played a major role in the development of much of the important research in the distance learning. Open University not only overcame the restrictive concept of place and time, but also eliminated the boundary of nations and nationalities. Britain's Open University was the largest and the most innovative educational organization in the world. It was a leader in the large-scale application of technology to facilitate distance learning. Later, the teleconferencing technologies in 1980s and 1990 have played a prominent role in education. Teleconferencing system made it possible for teachers to talk with, hear and see their students in real time, that is, with no delays in the transmissions even if they were located across the country or around the world. Use of technology in distance education. In the last 20 years, with the advancement in technology, independent study has become more accessible for distance education students. The ease with which modern communications technologies can link educational institutions to homes, work sites and community centers has made adult education and lifelong learning matters of national policy. The development of computers and the internet have made distance learning distribution easier and faster and have given rise to the virtual university, the entire educational offering of which are conducted online. In 1996, Jones International University was launched and claims to be the first fully online university accredited by a regional accrediting association in the US. Large numbers of people gained access to computers linked to telephone lines, allowing teachers and students to communicate in the conferences via computers. The 1970s and 1980s introduced the related concept distance education, which posed new challenges to traditional independent study, forcing a re-examination and redefinition of the place of independent study in this new international movement. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, cable and satellite television came into use as a delivery medium for distance education courses. During the 1980s, many quality telecourse offerings were available by using cable and satellite delivery. During the end of 1991, 18 institutions, including the University of California, the University of Oklahoma, Penn State and Washington State, used the Mind Extension University educational network to deliver video courses materials for independent study courses. Women's desire and participation in distance education helped the growth of distance education in 1980s and 1990s. Participation of women in distance learning was directly related to political and social changes in women's position within the family and society. Technological changes in the workplace and the economic necessity of participation and the job market and new job opportunities. Even now, all the open universities use distance education technologies as delivery methodologies, and some have grown to become mega university, a term coined to denote institutions with more than 1 lakh students. Most education technologists do link distance education to technology, Garrison 1987, and may view it as different from other forms of education. The types of available technologies used in distance education are divided into two groups: synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning technology is a mode of delivery where all the participants are present at the same time. It resembles traditional classroom teaching methods despite the participants being located remotely. This type of method include web conferencing, instructional television, video conferencing, education television, use of direct broadcast satellite, internet radio, telephone, live streaming, etc. It requires a timetable to be organized. Desktop video conferencing allows you to both hear and see the other party. File sharing and application sharing is also possible. This allows for both individuals to look at one file or application at the same time from two separate locations. Its popularity has increased as a result of advances in video data compression technology. Web-based instruction is convenient for the student because it allows him or her to access the learning material anytime from any location with an internet connection. Web-based instruction also facilitates mentoring through teacher and student interaction and promotes active learning. The asynchronous learning mode of delivery is where participants access course materials on their own schedule and so is more flexible. Students are not required to be together at the same time. Mail correspondence, which is the oldest form of distance education, is an asynchronous delivery technology. Other methods include email, voice box, message board, print materials, fax audio recordings, etc. Other technology methods used in the delivery of distance education include online 3-dimensional virtual worlds. Basic forms of distance education. Distance education takes different forms. The advantages and disadvantages depend on the preferences and the personal situation of the learner. The cost of learning, the experience of students and the faculty, the physical plant which include the buildings, equipment, staff and supplies required to operate the enterprise are the deciding factors. The extended classroom model. Distance programs simply extend or expand the classroom to an off-site location with telecommunication technology. Sometimes the lecture classes conducted would be played over a large screen television. The students could participate in the class along with those physically present in the other side of the classroom via interactive audio and video transmission. Independent study model. This learning program does not require students to be in a particular place on a certain day at a specific time. Students are given the tools they need, usually a course study guide, a course outline or syllabus and a list of required and recommended study books. Some institutions like those approved by the Distance Education and Training Council provide detailed lesson plans and assignments. Sometimes the students would be assigned a faculty member who is responsible for guiding and evaluating their work. When students live too far from campus, they take exams in person. Independent study students keep in contact with the instructors by telephone, voicemail, computer conferencing, electronic mail and regular mail. Assignments are normally faxed, emailed or snail mailed by post office. The virtual classroom model. This model is also known as quasi-independent study model. This model integrates features of others with interactive telecommunications. As in independent study programs, students are given the basic tools they need, usually a course outline or a syllabus, a printed study guide and a list of required and recommended study books. Students may also receive audio or audiovisual media, audio tapes, videotapes, computer discs which play the same role as the televised lectures used in programs modeled after the extended classroom. These allow students to study at their own pace since recorded media offer no opportunity for interaction. Many virtual classrooms require students to participate in regularly scheduled class meetings over the internet via chat room or bulletin board service. The class sessions allow students to interact with instructor and cohort students. Since lecture is handled by audiovisual materials, class meetings are frequently spent in problem solving, brainstorming and discussion of questions raised by the audiovisual materials. The virtual classroom, as with independent study, provides greater flexibility in scheduling. Virtual classes help overcome the chief disadvantage often perceived by students of extended classrooms, which is not having direct access to the instructor. It is also overcomes the chief disadvantages of traditional independent study, having no interaction with other students. Distant education increasingly uses combination of different communication technologies to enhance the abilities of teachers and students to communicate with each other. It makes use of computer conferencing on the World Wide Web, audio and video conferencing, file sharing and communication tools like email and chats. Given the rate of current technological advancements, no one can truly and accurately predict the future of distance education. Now, let us summarize what we have discussed in this topic. Distance education is a process to create and provide access to learning when the source of information and the learners are separated by time and distance or both. The traditional model for higher education usually involves the student travelling to the same physical campus as his or her educators. With the advent of technology like the videotapes, CD-ROMs, closed circuit television and the internet, students can now receive pertinent classroom information without even leaving home. With good instructional design, distance education is as effective as other forms of teaching and learning generally characterized as face-to-face education for conventional education. Traditional colleges and universities have now improved distance education through some trial and error. The earliest efforts at the distance education involved correspondence study. These early efforts relied on the postal service for the delivery of content and assignments. The late 1960s and early 1970s introduced computer-based distance education using technologies such as network-based computer conferencing and tapes. The chapter in detail explains how distance education was adopted in the field of education. Distance education is imparted by departments of correspondence courses in the universities and university level institutions. Open universities exclusively involved in imparting higher education through the distance mode and a large number of private institutions mostly offering professional courses. Use of technology in distance education has been changing with advent of new methods. The development of computers and the internet have made distance learning distribution easier and faster and have given rise to the virtual university. The entire educational offerings of which are conducted online, the types of available technologies used in distance education are divided into two groups, synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning technology is a mode of delivery where all participants are present at the same time. It resembles traditional classroom teaching methods. This type of method include web conferencing, instructional television video conferencing, education television. Use of direct broadcast satellite, internet, radio, telephone, live streaming, etc. The asynchronous learning mode of delivery is where participants access course material on their own schedule and so is more flexible. Students are not required to be together at same time. This type of method includes email, voice box, message board, print materials, fax, audio recordings, etc. Distance education takes different forms. The main three forms are the extended class model, independent study model and virtual class model. How distance education is best defined or differentiated from other educational approaches has been the subject of much debate. From the perspective of many education technologists, distance education is inexorably linked to the technology and seems to be viewed as different from other forms of education. Now try to answer the given questions. What is your understanding of distance education? Write a brief note on the history of distance education. What are the technologies used in distance education? What is a quasi-independent classroom model? What are the basic forms of distance education? What are the three different ways in which distance education is imparted? Here are some books for your reference. Distance Education, V.K. Rao, APH Publishing, 2008, History and Scope of Distance Education, D.D. Agarwal, Sarup and Sons, 2007. Hope that you have enjoyed this session. We will meet again with another topic. Till then, bye.